You might think the 2024 Chevy Equinox offers good value for money, but you know the old saying, buy cheap, buy twice. Here are the reasons why you should avoid it. Buckle up, it's quite a list. Number 1. Small, unreliable engine. Unfortunately, the Chevy Equinox only offers a feeble 175 horsepower turbocharged 1.5-liter 4-cylinder that fails to excite and often struggles, especially under heavy loads. 0 to 60 miles an hour takes about 8.9 seconds with a 6-speed automatic gearbox and optional heavier all-wheel drive system, not contributing too much to this performance. It's not the slowest car ever, but there are other options out there. Overall, the Chevy Equinox might feel a bit underpowered and sometimes clunky. If you push the pedal to the metal, it will take time. In some cases, the response will be a jittery, shaky acceleration, as if the car is gasping for air. The underpowered buzzing and high RPM will make you worried at times and might convince you not to push it. Pulling out into moving traffic from a standstill is also more difficult than you'd think. So while the Equinox is perfectly fine for daily tasks like school runs, supermarket visits, or weekend trips to grandma's, you can't expect any particularly fun driving experience out of it. Number 2. Turbo problems. The Equinox is not just lacking in power, it also suffers from significant engine-related mechanical issues. A frequent concern among current owners is the malfunctioning of the turbocharger. What basically happens in most cases is that the car enters in limp mode unexpectedly, leading to a major reduction in power. While in limp mode, the car won't do more than 15 miles per hour, and you wouldn't want this to happen while you're on the highway. It can get quite dangerous, quite unexpectedly. This problem has been tracked back to the turbo wastegate, which is a valve positioned on the exhaust manifold just before the turbine housing inlet. For most owners, replacing that part solved the problem, but not in all cases. In some cases, it was the whole turbo. A specific 2023 Equinox owner experienced a sudden loss of engine power, which proved to be due to a frozen turbo. When they reached the dealership, they also learned it had happened to at least 10 other vehicles in the previous 2 days. Apparently, in cold weather, the turbocharger in the 1.5-liter Equinox engine doesn't get proper oiling. Other owners complained about a loud noise coming from the engine area. It turned out it was caused by the turbo unit hitting the radiator. The dealership's solution was to add some tape in between them to eliminate the noise. But really, tape? More than that, there were also cases where the whole engine of the Equinox needed to be replaced because of excessive oil consumption, causing it to fail completely. Number 3. Brake issues. Unfortunately, the Equinox is not just underpowered, it's also plagued with major brake system issues, which might trigger violent shaking while braking at low speeds or overheating. There were also reports where the brake pedal would immediately sink to the floor because of a failing master cylinder. In other cases, it was the brake vacuum pump that would fail and cause the brakes to also malfunction completely. Other strange behaviors reported by Equinox owners include brakes becoming suddenly stiff and inefficient, vibration or pulsation under braking, and even premature pad and rotor wear. In some situations, the failing brake system caused serious and dangerous troubles. One owner had the car for only 3 months when the brakes failed completely and the car ended up totaled. Number 4. Fuel system problems. The fuel system, a crucial mechanical component of every car, has been reported to malfunction in the Chevy Equinox. First of all, owners complained that the gas tank lacked proper protective shielding. In some cases, simple road debris punctured the gas tank, causing dangerous fuel spillage on the road. There were also recalls issued by the NHTSA regarding a failing seam in the fuel tank, which could also lead to fuel leakage. Secondly, the fuel pump would act up. Owners reported unusual behaviors with their cars, such as complete loss of acceleration while on the highway, leading to vehicle stalling. Perhaps the most alarming issue with the fuel system is the erratic behavior of the gas pedal. In some instances, depressing the pedal would cause the vehicle to accelerate dramatically instead of slowing down. That's scary. We wouldn't like to be in the car that does that. Number 5. Transmission issues. The 2024 Equinox is equipped with a quite unremarkable 6-speed automatic gearbox. When it's working well, it shifts smoothly and you can enjoy your usual Sunday shopping trip. However, when you're ready to push the pedal to the metal, it takes forever to downshift. In some cases, it just won't downshift at all and you're left craving for a little more acceleration power. But this is not all. Current owners of the Equinox have also reported strange noises coming from the transmission during everyday drives. Apparently, after 50,000 miles, the transmission would start to jerk while shifting. It seems that even the lowest mileage Equinoxes get transmission issues, like fluid leakage. That's not fun. Number 6. Steering issues. Current owners of the Equinox have reported various issues with the car's steering. Sometimes the steering wheel would just resist turning when driving straight, requiring significantly more effort to adjust the direction of the car. A stiff steering wheel with a very artificial steering response does not inspire confidence at all, and that's what some Chevy Equinox owners complain about. Additionally, we found alarming reports of the vehicle swerving violently out of its lane into oncoming traffic. The power steering has also been known to malfunction often on the Equinox. There are various reports from owners complaining about getting in their car to drive to work only to find out that the power steering had miraculously stopped working during the night. Number 7. Outdated interior. The cabin of the Equinox looks like it's 15 years old. Cheap plastics are aplenty and the technology is quite outdated. Most of the interior luxurious features, such as dual-zone automatic climate control, leather-wrapped steering wheel, or heated front seats are optional, available on the higher trims. Moreover, only the most expensive Premier trim adds wireless charging pad, heated steering wheel, and driver's seat memory settings. Space in the cabin is also quite average. You can only rely on the center console storage bin to put your stuff. One of the interesting quirks of the Equinox that might convince you to avoid the car is the unpredictable heating system. According to owners' reports, this is a common issue. Basically, the heating might decide not to blast warm air during the winter. Apparently, you'll need to replace the heater core, and that might set you back $1,000 to $2,000. Number 8. Noisy ride. It's not just the interior design and materials that are disappointing, it's also the noisy ride that can get on your nerves sometimes. First, it's the engine. Since it's a small engine, it roars, buzzes, and vibrates quite badly, especially when you push it. Wind and road noise also pour into the cabin at high speeds. Some reports claim it's mostly because the doors haven't been sealed properly. Additionally, some users have reported a slight vibration in the steering wheel and gas pedal when cruising at highway speeds. Tires or the bad design of the front axles themselves could cause this. Number 9. Laughable Infotainment. It's 2024, and the Equinox comes with a 7-inch touchscreen as standard. If you want a little more screen real estate, you'll have to pay extra to upgrade to an 8-inch touchscreen. By comparison, the Kia Sportage comes with an 8-inch infotainment screen as standard. The Equinox infotainment system is powered by Chevrolet's MyLink interface, which is pretty easy to use. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard, and in theory, they work well. We say in theory because current owners think otherwise. For example, connecting Apple CarPlay means you have to turn off every other phone in the car, and we understand how that can be frustrating. On other occasions, the display screen would just freeze and go blank, and the dealerships are clueless as to why that happens. But the Equinox is one of the cheapest compact SUVs out there. Starting at almost $28,000, it's $1,500 cheaper than a Kia Sportage and $2,600 cheaper than a Mazda CX-5 or a Honda CR-V. Is it worth it to save that kind of money in this situation? Maybe not. Number 10. On recall for defective door strikers. General Motors has issued a safety recall for the 2024 Equinox because of defective door strikers. Apparently, these door strikers were given an incorrect heat treatment during the manufacturing process, and as a result, they can crack or break down completely. When the door strikers fail like that on a car, the doors will come open, and that can happen during normal driving, or worse, during a crash. That poses a high risk of injury, and that's why they're recalling these 2024 Equinox vehicles. Even more than that, GM stopped the delivery of new cars on December 18, 2023. Dealers are instructed to replace all 4 door strikers and door striker bolts on the 2024 Equinox vehicles to avoid them breaking down during driving. That is a worrying thought. So if you're already an owner of a brand new Chevy Equinox, you should check if your car has a recall and go to the dealership to get that fixed ASAP.